Good day everyone, and welcome to the One Lonely Owl YouTube channel. This is the One Lonely Owl Knitting Podcast. My name is Terry and I will be your host. First off, I need to apologize. I have been missing in action for a little while. I recorded my last podcast over a month ago, and as of the recording of this podcast, it has been 37 days since I've uploaded any content. I know typically I don't do a lot of life stuff. I do a little bit of life stuff here and there where I chat about a little bit of my cancer journey. If you're new here and the bald head didn't give it away, I am a current cancer patient and undergoing cancer treatments for cervical cancer. I have also got a history of thyroid cancer, so you've maybe heard a little bit of each of those stories if you have watched up to and including today's episode. So today I wanted to maybe get some of the life stuff out of the way to explain a little bit about why I am or why I have been absent over the last little while. I will also acknowledge that if you can see, I've got an all over body rash. I'm not sure if you can tell on the camera, but my hands, arms, legs, feet, face, chest, body, everywhere is covered in a rash. My doctor and I think that I'm probably allergic to one of the antibiotics that I was taking for one of the infections I had from the wound, from the surgery that I had. Anyway, if you see that, I apologize. It's not that itchy. I've been taking some medication to manage that. So, first off, wanted to say thank you to everybody for the care and concern and any messages that were sent my way. I really do truly appreciate it, from friends and family and total strangers, to be fair. I had been recording these it'll be coming up on a year very soon, and with a current number of subscribers at 137, my family and friends and I joke that they can't all be family and friends, so there are definitely some strangers out there who maybe in the next over the last little while and in the next little while have started to become friends. So I wanted to say thank you to each and every one of you who has reached out and sent some words of encouragement, I guess is the best way to describe that. So I'm doing well. I had a radical hysterectomy on the 2nd of April. It's the day that I'm recording this is the 26th of April. So it is a Friday. I don't typically record on Fridays, but because I've been so off schedule, I decided that today was the day. So I'm 24 days post-surgery and I'm doing way better than I was. However, I'm not doing as well as I had hoped that I would be doing by now. So a little bit of the journey. For those of you that don't want to hear this, you can skip forward and to the next segment, which if I can, I'll put a timestamp below so that you can tell where to go to skip over the life stuff. I'll give you the short version of the story. I had been, in September of 2022, diagnosed with cervical cancer. I immediately started chemo and radiation treatments. I went through several weeks of that, get out of that, recovering from there, find out that my husband had a medical issue as well, which I don't share here because it's not my story to tell. But we had to sort of dive right into his recovery. And then as we were waiting for some information from him, I ended up with thyroid cancer, which was found by accident. I ended up having a hemiplegic migraine, which presents somewhat like a stroke. So I ended up in the emergency room. They took a CT scan to check to see if it was a stroke, found the thyroid cancer, a couple of days of investigation there, and then a surgery, and then released to home. So that brings us up to May of 2023. Start to recover, doing well, starting to feel somewhat normal, thinking about returning to work, coming back to regular life. And in December of 2023, find out that the cervical cancer has returned and that I need to start having other treatments and then a radical hysterectomy. So in January, I start the second bout of chemo that I have gone through. I, lose my hair, which I hadn't the first time. I get pretty sick and really unwell. And then we come to finishing the chemo treatments March 1st was my last one, March 1st, 2024. And then I had what's called a radical hysterectomy, where they take almost everything inside. So that was on April 2nd, and now I'm recovering from it and then going back into chemotherapy probably somewhere in mid-May. So I'm going to do 3 more rounds of kind of maintenance chemo, sort of an insurance policy, because they did take everything that they saw, and everything else that they tested was benign, so that was good. Not benign in that there was no cancer anywhere else, there was no malignancy found. So we went ahead, went ahead, took everything that they saw, and now we're going to go ahead with the insurance policy chemo. So that is hopefully going to start probably mid-May, is what I'm thinking. So that's that for the life update regarding my cancer journey. The stuff going on at home, if you're new here, I live in central Alberta, Canada, on an acreage where we have 2 small kids, a dog, and my husband and I, and we live here. We absolutely love where we live. We live just outside of a small town called Carstairs, and my friends, most of my friends and family live within a few hours of us. So we've got some family literally in Carstairs, so about 10 minutes away, and we've got some friends, lots of friends in the Calgary region, which is about 45 to 50 minutes away, depending on what end of the city you're on. It might even be longer than that. And then some of our other family is up toward Edmonton. So we have lots of support in and around the area, and we've had lots of friends and family reach out and help us out throughout this entire journey. What else is there that I could say? It's turning into spring, which I'm really, really grateful for. I love spring. I love spring and fall are my 2 favorite seasons. Really, really enjoying just being outside as often as I can. I don't get to go outside very often. I am, a lot of the time I'm horizontal because my scar is still a wound, I guess, so I don't sit up for very long. So having said that, I guess I'm going to do my best to sit up as long as I can to get through this episode. Saying all of that, I'm going to stop with the life stuff there, and I'm going to continue on and start the actual knitting content. We're nearly 8 minutes in, and I'm just going to get started so that I don't end up too tired and not able to finish this. I'll also apologize because I'm probably a bit squirmy. I'm a little bit uncomfortable when I sit up, and especially sitting on a hard chair. So if I'm squirming around a little more than normal, my apologies for that. The first segment is called Mug Up. Mug Up is where we talk about what I'm drinking. Anyone who has been on a cancer journey has probably been told the same thing that I'm told, and that you need to drink a ton of water. So today I'm just drinking some water out of my Owala, my black Owala mug. Water bottle. I do want to share a couple of the stickers because this one is probably new to you. So this one is my David sticker from Schitt's Creek. I'm a big fan of Schitt's Creek if you're new here. Very uninterested in that option. That's my one there. That one was a gift from a friend. And actually all 3 of these stickers are gifts from friends. This one is the Ken sticker, Knuff from Barbie. I'm not sure if you can see that because it's trying to focus on my face. And then the little ribbon that says, made it through some real hard shit. Ooh, probably shouldn't have sworn. Whatever. So that's all I'm having is just a bottle of water, and that is pretty standard these days. Next segment is called La. La is where we talk about what I am wearing. La in Newfoundland means look at what she's wearing, is where I took the context of that. I'm wearing a pair of vanilla socks, which I will not try to show you because I'm not taking them off and putting them on, and I'm not flexible enough to show you. If I have the wherewithal, I'll take a photo of them and I'll pop them in here. They're just a pair of the Flotte Christmas socks, although if you look at them, they don't look too Christmassy. They've got blue and red, yellow, green, all kinds of colors in them. So I wear them. They're nice and woolly. They're one of my favorites, and they're nice and cozy. The other thing that I'm wearing is my Harvest cardigan by Tin Can Knits. This is a somewhat recent finished object where I was doing somewhat of a knit along with a girlfriend of mine who was knitting a harvest as well. It is really warm and cozy. I go through stages of where I'm hot or cold, going through early menopause because of my chemo, radiation, and hysterectomy now. And so I like to have a sweater on that is open so that I can cool off if I need to, or I can sort of scrunch up if I need to be a bit warmer, or it's easily removed. So I am wearing the Harvest Cardigan by Tin Can Knits. If you're new here, you will not know, but I am a big fan of Tin Can Knits, and I quite enjoy their patterns. Really enjoyed knitting this one. It's knit with Cascade Ecological wool. Can't remember the name of it, the colorway of it, but if you would like to know any details, you can go back in previous episodes where I talk about that. That is it for what I'm wearing. Obviously I'm wearing other clothes, but just no other knitwear. The next segment is Whatta Ya At. Whatta Ya At is where we talk about what I am working on. I have to be fully transparent and say that I have not been working on much. Like I said, it's been 37 days since the last time I uploaded a video, so you would expect that I would have a fair amount of content to share. I don't. I have something that is a finished object that I started and finished in that 37 days that I will show you once we get to that segment, but I have three objects that I have done a very little amount of work on. So I'm going to start with, speaking of my love for Tin Can Knits, Tin Can Knits has a pattern called it was called the Flax Light. Now I believe it's called Flax Sock. If you are new here, you won't know about it, but if you are not new here, you will know that I have been working on this since the beginning of time. This is my Flax Sock, or my Flax Light, living in Her Leather Co. bag by Alyssa, who is a local maker in Calgary. I say local, she's local-ish to me. It's as local as it would get. This is the Flax Light sweater, or Flax Sock sweater, by Tin Can Knits. I have almost got the sleeve finished, one sleeve, and I am working sort of very slowly, very slowly to get that completed. It is knit with Polkadot Creek Fingering 7525 Superwash Merino, and it is in the colorway Eucalyptus. So here is one of the colors in the cake. I absolutely love this color, and I will enjoy this sweater when I'm finished with it. Last episode, I think I talked a little bit about how I had started the sleeve and I had to rip back because there was a very visible line. Even though I was alternating skeins, I had alternated a small little section of a previous skein that was very light in comparison to the other one that I was using, so it was a very obvious line. So I had to change that up a little bit. So the Flax Light, knit with Polkadot Creek fingering weight 7525 Superwash Merino in the colorway Eucalyptus, living in my Her Leather Co. bag by Alyssa from Her Leather Co. The next object that I will share, again, it's been a work in progress for quite some time. I have been working on these sort of in and out of the hospital and whatnot. I have, where is one? I finally have one sock finished. I don't have the ends woven in, but I finally have this sock finished with a heel as well as the toe and cuff. So this one is a fully finished sock, and the other one I still need to just do the heel on. So I'm almost finished these. I went to go put the heel in this sock the other day, and it was just too dark and I couldn't see the stitches well enough. And to be honest, I don't want to screw something up, so I left it be, and I will pick that up another time. The colorway is the National Lampoon Christmas Vacation colorway by Polkadot Creek. The contrasting color, I'm not sure, I believe it's actually called Silver, the light gray toe and cuff. The bag that it's living in is the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation bag that came with the Christmas Advent calendar last year of the Canadian Countdown Christmas by Shannon. So Shannon makes the bags, and then 25 dyers across Canada will do the colorways that go in the bag, and you get an advent calendar, and at the end of it you have a bag to put it all in. So that was that. The stitch markers, if you saw, there's a couple of stitch markers. They came from the Hissy Knit. I'll see if I can get up a little closer and you can see the reindeer. The Hissy Knit and Polkadot Creek. I don't want it to focus on that either. Hissy Knit and Polkadot Creek did a collaboration last year where they did a Notions calendar, and that's where that came from. If you're new here, the pattern that I use for my vanilla socks are a 72 stitch Turkish cast on, so 12 to 16 stitch Turkish cast on. I increase to 72 stitches. I knit the whole leg of the sock, and then I go back and I do the afterthought heel where I'll cut in and then do a normal, like, you do a round and then you do a decrease round, then you do a round, you do a decrease round, and then I'll do that for the heel as well. So those were my vanilla socks. So we've got the Flax Light, the vanilla socks, and the last thing that I am working on is the vest number 2. Vest number 2 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. This is not a very good photo, but you can see here the vest number 2. It is, like I said, the vest number 2 is by My Favorite Things Knitwear, and it is something that I had been thinking I might want to have for the spring. And quite honestly, I thought I would cast it on and I would have all kinds of time when I was in the hospital and when I was at home to get all kinds of knitting done. And to be fair, I did have all kinds of time. I just didn't actually end up doing any of that knitting while I was in the hospital or while I was at home. So I will show you the very small progress, very little progress that I made on the vest number 2 while I was in the hospital. I have not worked on this since I was home. I was in the hospital for just shy of a week. I was in for 6 days, and I was released to home with very strict rules about what I was to do and what I was to follow. Otherwise, they weren't going to let me to come home. So I begged my doctor to let me go home because I was really getting quite tired and depressed in the hospital. So I got a little bit, tiny little bit of progress done on the sweater vest, but I have not worked on that since I left the hospital, probably because it's too much of a mental game, to be honest, for me. That is living in my not fringe field bag, my field bag made by me. This is the pattern by Grainline Studios, where the fringe field bag that was made by Fringe Supply Company ages ago was quite popular. They stopped making them, so Grainline Supply made the pattern and have released that, and I made my own bag. So that is living in my mustard fringe field bag that's not made by Fringe. Again, that was the vest number 2 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. Oh, and it was knit with, or is being knit with, Briggs and Little Heritage in the colorway, I think it's just called gray. I'm not totally sure. Oh, you know what? I've got a skein right here. Let me see. Dark gray. So this is the skein that it's in. I purchased this at Stash a little while back. I made an online purchase, and I have plenty to make a sweater's quantity, so I thought I would just pull off a little sweater vest and maybe have something else for some hat and mitts. Okay, Flax Light, vanilla socks, number 2, vest number 2, and that is that for Whatta Ya At. So, again, not a lot of progress, but I'm happy with what I did progress with, because like I said, I'd spent a fair bit of time in the hospital and just wasn't feeling myself, and I didn't really have a ton of knitting mojo. I will share now in our next segment, which is called Yes Buy. Yes Buy is where we talk about something that I finished. The project is called An Italian Summer Scarf by an Italian knitter. And again, I will show it to you. It's not the best pattern picture because I did it in black and white. But my son is in grade 1 and I wanted to make something summery for his teacher, who is one of the most lovely people on the planet. She has been through our journey with us and has helped us through a fair amount of trauma, I guess is the best way to describe it. She's been there for us, she's been there for our son, and she is just a special person. So I wanted to make her something for the end of the school year, and I wasn't sure how long it was going to take me, so I wanted to get it started. Once I got started, it took me no time because it is absolutely scrumptious and so easy to knit. And I'll show you the other side. I have not woven in any of the ends yet. But again, this is an Italian summer scarf made by an Italian knitter. It is a garter stitch eyelet repeat. It is super squishy, really bouncy. Quite enjoy that. It is made from, the name of the yarn is Caron Cotton Cakes, I believe. And I don't know the colorway, but it's kind of this lilac-y. If you're familiar with Knititude, Chantel is from Calgary. Knititude uses this color, I swear. This is like her color. So it's like a light, kind of a lilac-y color. So that is the Italian summer scarf by an Italian knitter for my son's teacher. And I'm super proud of it. And like I said, it was just really enjoyable to knit. It was a really easy, thoughtless knit, where I was able to just kind of like, I could count the garter rows and figure out if I needed to do an eyelet row, and you could almost tell just by how long you'd been knitting if you were ready for an eyelet row. It was just really super simple, really easy, and that's exactly what I needed at the time. So that is living in my Creek Gardens Crafts, I call it my buffalo plaid, although it's not technically buffalo plaid, bag. It's just a little small project bag by Creek Gardens Crafts that I love. That is that for finished objects. I have not completed anything else in the Yes By segment, so that's what you will get for finished objects. I'm not doing too bad considering I haven't done a ton. Next, we are going to talk a little bit about twacking. Twacking is where we talk about, Twacking is where we talk about what I've purchased. If you are new here, you won't know this, but I had planned on not purchasing anything over this 2024 season. But I had a realization that if I'm going to do Vlogmas, I probably need to have some sort of advent calendar to open. So I went and bought the Countdown to Christmas, Canadian Countdown to Christmas calendar from Polkadot Creek and Shannon again. For two reasons. One, I needed something to open for Advent, and two, it was Elf, and Elf is my absolute all-time favorite Christmas movie. So I decided that I would break the rules just for that one. And so I purchased the Canadian Countdown Christmas. Oh, the other reason was because Polkadot Creek had a sale, and if I'm able to get this up in time, the sale ends on April 30th, where all of their Advents are 10% off. So I will put any links that I talk about, anything that I talk about today in this week's episode, I'll put in the description box, in the link in the description box below, which you can find right below this video. But, yeah, so I did one big purchase, but haven't had any other purchases this year. I will share, however, that I did have a gift given to me by a friend of my mother-in-law, and it is absolutely lovely. I think she intended it to be like a bag that you can put in your purse, like you could put your glasses in it, or you could put a change purse, or maybe some lipstick or something in it, and then you can put it inside your purse. But the moment I saw it, it's a sock bag. It has to be a sock bag. So this is the gift that I was given by my mother-in-law's friend, and I just wanted to say a sincere thank you to her for this beautiful gift. It is lovely quilted pattern, and it has these little triangle tabs on either side because it is a snap, like a closure that is made with a measuring tape. So I thought that was absolutely adorable. It sort of opens really easily, and then when you let it go, it automatically closes, and I just thought that that was really sweet. Really sweet and super cute and very well made. So thank you so much to my mother-in-law's friend who gave me this gift. So technically not twacking because I didn't go shopping, but it is something new to me. The next segment we're going to talk about called Now to Once. Now to Once is where we talk about the things that we're going to do in a little while. So the next projects that I'm going to be planning on casting on. This is kind of the future knitting project segment. I will be brutally honest, I'm starting chemo again in May. I'm guessing May or June, so I don't really intend on putting a ton of things on the needles until I get some of the things. Like I said, I've got these 3 projects that are on the go right now that I'd like to get finished. So that is my plan, to not cast on anything new. And if I do, it will be something very, very simple. Something that I've maybe knit a few times before, maybe an Eileen bag, maybe some dishcloths, maybe, who knows, I'm not 100% sure, but it will be something that will be very simple if I do cast on anything. And if I don't cast on anything, whether I work on something or not is to be determined at this point. So just wanted to acknowledge that my knitting mojo has been quite low, and I will update as I know and as I do more, but just be prepared that the upcoming weeks and months are probably going to be stressful and hard on my health, so I may not be doing as much knitting or crafting as I normally would be doing. I know I didn't say this, but you'll see that I'm looking down and to the left, or on the screen it might be to the right. This is where I keep my show notes, so that's what I'll be referring to. And now that we're almost through the entire episode, I should have probably said that at the beginning, but that is where I get my show notes. So I will apologize if you see me looking down and have been wondering why. The next segment is Jigs and Reels. Jigs and Reels are things that I've been listening to, reading, music. In Newfoundland, Jigs and Reels are songs and dances, so that's kind of where that came from, like television shows, movies, music, that sort of stuff is where I got that idea from. So this is the, audio-visual portion of the episode. I have read one book since the last time that I podcasted, and that is The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. I really enjoyed it. If you haven't read anything by TJ Klune before, it is a little bit off the wall, where there's some characters. It's a bit fantasy, so really, really enjoyed it. I'm reading it for my book club with my in-town book club, where it's just people from town and not the library's book club, because I'm part of 2 separate ones. It is quite lovely. Really enjoyed the story. I will say that I was a little annoyed that it didn't move a little bit faster, but I won't say any spoilers if you choose to read that book. Really, really quite enjoyed that one. And unfortunately don't have anything else to talk about in what I'm watching. I'm watching trashy TV. I'm watching reruns of stuff that I'm almost ashamed to admit, of like reality television and whatnot. So, not really much good quality television. If anybody has any suggestions, I've actually been considering going back and rewatching Outlander so I can catch up for when the next season comes out, because it's been a while and I don't remember where I ended up. So been thinking about doing that. It's just I don't really spend a lot of time watching television, so not sure if I'll end up doing that or not. If you do have any suggestions of television shows that you think I might enjoy, or that you think my husband and I might enjoy to watch together, just to give you some context, I love things like Downton Abbey, The Crown, Outlander. What else? What else have we watched lately that I enjoyed? I watched Will Trent and Severance. I'm into all kinds of different things. Silo, I watched Silo. Wasn't a huge fan of that one, but if you have any ideas, please feel free to drop any comments below so that I can maybe have a look at those shows and get something new on my docket. The next segment is called Best Kind. Best Kind in Newfoundland is a way to describe something good. And in my case, the way I describe it is the things that I do for myself that make me feel good. The short answer for this one is it's family and it's friends and it's time spent together. I have had a lot of rest time because of my recovery. And like I said before, I know maybe I've been a bit squirmy and things like that. That's probably the case right now because I'm starting to get really uncomfortable. So I'm going to try to make it short. But the the time I've been spending at home. I've been spending with my kids, my husband, my mom and dad, his mom and dad. Our friends can come visit. I had a really great visit the other day with a good friend of mine. Those things, have been what's been filling up my cup. So that's what I've been doing and what has been making me feel good. The other thing that I wrote was rest. I have this thing about being productive, and recently I have decided that rest is actually part of my productivity. So up until probably and including my surgery and the recovery from that, I had been really trying to stay on top of life and doing things that I would normally do. And then since having the surgery, I literally cannot do those things anymore, some of those things anymore. So I have been slowing down. And I mean, the podcast has been one of those examples. I didn't record when I said that I was going to, because I thought, quite honestly, that I would be in great shape. And all it's doing is sitting in a chair and talking to a camera. It's much more than that. And it was way harder than I anticipated the recovery to be. So resting has been part of my productivity plan. And that's what I've been doing to take care of myself. So that is the segment called Best Kind. That's it. That's all she wrote. So the thing that I believe I forgot. Oh my gosh, forgot. Hi, Mom. I didn't thank my subscribers, so that's why I forgot. Hi, Mom. Thank you for watching, Mom. As always, I wanted to say thank you to anybody who's new here. Thank you so much for giving me a try. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I really do appreciate the time that you choose to spend with me. If you haven't already, you can like this video, you can comment below, you can share this video with family or friends of anybody that you think might enjoy this video. And you can subscribe. Like I said, at the time of the recording of this video, I was at 137 subscribers, which are not all my family and friends, and I just think that is just the cat's meow. I think that is really super fun, and I love the idea of this channel growing into a space where friends and family can come and enjoy each other's company. So with that, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for giving me a try. Like I said, if you're new, again, like, comment, subscribe, share, do all of the things that help this channel along and let it get out to other viewers. I don't do this for the financial, if there is any financial kickback, I don't know, because I'm definitely not there yet, but I do this because it's fun for me. And with that, keep living your best life and filling up your cup. And I will see you in a couple of weeks is my plan. Like I said, it's a bit of a journey coming up, so if I can, I will see you in 2 weeks. Otherwise, I will see you as soon as I can. So like I said, keep filling up your cup, living your best life, filling up your cup, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Until then, stay where you're to, till I comes where you're at. Bye.